So South Sydney running from left to right. Kick-off taken by Dylan Farrell, goes very high with a lot of hang time. So the preliminary final, the first one is underway. And Brenton Loris is the Manly player pulled down. So he's followed up by a run from Anthony Watmough. One of the players that seemed to finish that match last weekend with injury. He may have come just a little bit gingerly out of that first contact, as a matter of fact. And now it's away from Matai. And South Sydney keen to show him the sideline. Steve Matai then playing the ball here on the western side of the ground. Brett Stewart up in the line, getting a little feel of the Stephen and Brent Kite. One of a few Manly players that won't be with them next year. They might be here next weekend, but not next year. Greg Inglis, they kick to him and he brings it back to the 30-metre line. So the plan with Greg would be pretty much a replica of all the other teams in their endeavours, and that is to kick to him into the corners, kick away from him, kick high to him, or even kick it into touch and get it set. This is Teo, right on the halfway line, and playing it back to the 150-game man, Isaac Luke. What a wonderful player he is, the South Sydney number 9. And if Burgess and Inglis get the raps, he's not far behind them. Here is Burgess now, down to the 20-metre line. They go to the left, Sutton is there, and they creep up in defence, and they go through the step there, Williams. This will only give South a loose head and feed, 15 away from the line.
No, he didn't have a choice, David Williams. That saved a try. Greg Inglis knew the cutout pass would put his winger away. You know how well South Sydney are going when you see Isaac Luke getting out of dummy half, and he did twice in that set of 6. And on the last, they opted to run the football, and Greg Inglis would have found Nathan Merritt, but David Williams saved the day with his right arm.
When the ball's in. Make sure you bind in the back, Bryson.
Jared Sutton officiating over this scrum.
Arms around, Jamie.
The senior referee would be Ben Cummins. And it's back on almost the Manly 10-metre line. They work it back at the scrum play. There's a forward pass.
Yeah, the pass to Bryson Goodwin from Isaac Luke will to have been forward with this scrum move.
Forward. In 20, boys.
Well, that's called cooking one. A really good opportunity, and they've put it away. Their feet seem to be okay, but I think it came out of the hands from Isaac travelling forward. Those innocent eyes looking at the scoreboard and taking on the replay. There was no argument about it, though. And so Manly would come away with Watmough out almost to the 20-metre line.
Bit of an art form these days, isn't it, Ray? Trying to not look guilty.
Lawrence. Now Watmough. Here's an offload. It's come down to South Sydney, and again they're on the attack. Merritt's got the ball, 30 metres out from the Manly line. Burgess. Sam. Luke's in the run onside. Oh.
High tackle.
Okay. High shot on Sam Burgess.
We've got it. Crikey, can you just confirm, please?
So Cummins asks Steve Clark in the video box to confirm it, have a look at it. Burgess, his brother, was on the end of a high shot at Brookvale. Glenn Stewart is the offender here. Sam Burgess is the victim. And Steve Clark will confirm to his referees that they got it right.
It's a high tackle, and it's on report. Penalty.
So Glenn Stewart, a high tackle on Sam Burgess, and he's gone on report.
And they're opting to kick for goal here for South Sydney to take the early points. And that is the other concern, I suppose, in this magnitude of game, is that you don't want to be getting into any trouble with the disciplinary side of things. Andrew John, sideline.
Great atmosphere down here, Sterlo. I think both sets of fans realise what's up for stake. Got to say, a bit of a nervous start from both teams. A forced pass there by Anthony Watmough. They'll be wanting to settle into their game plans and their structures, but great atmosphere down here on the sideline.
Look at the burrow. They're clustered in there. It's like a rabbit warren. There's not much room for any more in that area anyway. And Adam Reynolds to take this shot. He's 3 goals away from becoming only the second South Sydney player to go past 100 in the season and join Eric Sims. So there's one of them down. Michael Maguire watching on pensively at the moment. Black armbands being worn today, not only by Michael, but the players. He lost his mum today. That news has only just reached me, actually.
Time you run.
That's the reason for the black armbands. Michael Maguire's lost his mum today. Gee, that's tough on all of us, but it's tough when you're coaching a team that hasn't been to a grand final since 1971, and the hopes of thousands, possibly millions of people riding with you. Our deepest commiseration to Michael and his family. Condolences. Oh my God, that's tough. And Sam Burgess up towards halfway. And a quick play the ball, and Isaac Luke ducks away. There were no markers. In fact, they had their backs turned. Markers retiring. They had their backs turned on the play. That's unforgivable. Not at this stage of the game, surely. The high kick, and up goes Tafua. It comes to ground. It's come down to South Sydney, but the referee is ruling a penalty to them. Player has been taken, I guess, in mid-air, or no, in fact, impeded a player without the ball.
Well, Dylan Walker regathered the drop from George Tafua,
Anthony, line, please.
but then he lost the football. Just power play from South Sydney. Forwards, big, and the ability to play the ball quickly.
So here comes South. And Luke Burgess playing the ball that close to the line. They go to the middle. And they link up with the 13, Jeff Lima. He could be in for a hot reception tonight. And here they go, sweeping it around the back, and Luke. Sam Burgess has run straight into one of the defending players, Matt Ballin. But Luke eventually decided, well, I better go to ground and snuff all that out. Here's John Sutton, he's over the line. First try of the match. Big John Sutton has scored. Look at that for a celebration over there.
Oh, they're on a roll. A really strong 7-minute opening start from the South Sydney side, and they're doing it through the middle corridor. The big man, good play the ball. Isaac Luke getting out of dummy half, and a simple missed tackle, one-on-one. Glenn Stewart slips off John Sutton. He gets the first 4-pointer.
Well, to our networks taking us wherever you might be. This fairy tale, I don't know whether it's going to come true or not, but there's plenty of people hoping that it does for South Sydney. 20 premierships. Well, there he is. He's a number 6, John Sutton, and he's not as big as Sam Burgess, but he's probably as big as Sam's brother Luke. And he plays at number 6. Reynolds then is 2 away from Eric Sims. Now he's 1. Brad Fiddler's on the sideline tonight.
Brilliant start to the Rabbitohs. Firstly, the Reynolds kick to George Tafua. He's got more errors than any other winger in the competition. And Sutton, the big man, he normally gets a 1 or 2 off the ruck. And he's got a massive left foot step for a big guy. And he attacked Glenn Stewart's right arm. You watch Glenn Stewart, he carries that right arm. Well, there's something very wrong with it, but he swears there's not.
So there's the restart of play. Gives us a chance to pop the Holden Cup score up for you as Lima brings it back. Warriors 54 defeated the Bulldogs 38 in a crazy Holden Cup game earlier tonight. 54 to 38.
I can tell you the Bulldogs led 34 to 16 at half-time. 34 to 16 lead, and they were beaten 54 to 38.
And that was after they trailed 16-0, the Bulldogs.
That's why I think they used the word crazy. This is David Tyrrell, who's taken it ahead this time. Reynolds puts a kick in. He was taken after kicking it, but the officials have let that go. There's no danger, according to them, in the tackle. This is Williams.
He's back on his feet now, Adam Reynolds. I watched both number 7s in the warm-up go through their kicking routine, and that was the type of kick Adam Reynolds spent most time with, from about the 40-metre line, putting up the spiral bomb.
Who offered that mistake, and that's a strong run by George. And they're calling out milking the referees. They're talking too manly. Here's Brett Stewart coming up, lending his support. Away to the right then for Jerry Evans. Oh, Glenn Stewart has put it down.
Jerry, I'll take this.
Manly have basically given South Sydney a wild card on 3 occasions so far.
It's been a powerful start by the Rabbitohs. Hard running, solid defending, and for Manly, a little bit sideways and a little bit mistake-riddled. They just haven't come out of the dressing rooms at all well, the Manly side.
Tomorrow night, the telecast of Roosters versus Newcastle will start at 7 in New South Wales.
Bind him in tight. Bind him in tight.
6 uses South Sydney's had. 5 times they've completed. 3 for Manly, and only 1 completion. 2-0 to penalties to South, and 69% possession has been with South Sydney. So they need to be 8-0 in front on those figures, don't they? Played then by Ben Teo. That's Luke Burgess. George on the bench. Tom Backergrade. And then Isaac for Sutton. They go beautifully along the back line. Goodwin goes to the 10. They're in to score. Nathan Merritt. He levels up with Benny Waring. The 144 tries that have stood the test of time for 80 years. He's levelled it. Nathan Merritt.
And that is their signature play. Down the left side with the second man plays. And Isaac Luke initiating it by getting out of dummy half. John Sutton second man. Greg Inglis quick hands to Bryson Goodwin. He commits Brett Stewart and puts the winger across in the corner. We've seen it plenty of times.
That is a historic try. He would have equalled Benny Waring many months ago had he not had to go to Cronulla to get a game of football. Nathan Merritt. Remember, they sacked South Sydney. I might remind a few people of that back on the Australian network in just a moment. This is an historic moment for South. Welcome back to ANZ Stadium. This is a large moment in the club history of South Sydney. Nathan Merritt has equalled the try-scoring record for the club set 80 years ago by Benny Waring. Keep in mind, Nathan was forced to go and play with another club when they decided to get rid of South out of the competition. So he could have done it many moons ago had he have not had the punctuation mark. Now Reynolds is going to try and join Eric Sims with this goal to be only the second South Sydney player to kick 100 in a season, and he's got it! Well, what a history-making try and conversion it was.
Now, the first time that South Sydney touched the ball tonight, they went to go to their left and they played short to Sam Burgess. And then from the next play, they nearly outnumbered them down that right-hand side. Williams knocked the ball down. This time it goes out the back. They miss Burgess, played beautifully through the hands, and Goodwin times his pass perfectly for Merritt. That right-hand defence of Manly can leak line breaks.
I know those stats I gave you just a few moments ago were damning for Manly, but they are playing magnificently, South. You can't bag them for playing almost the perfect game of football, can you?
No, this is what they were looking for, South Sydney, having that fresh weekend off. They wanted to really put it to Manly early on. They've done that. But Manly will get some possession. It will turn.
And look how they do. So here's Luke again. He's terrorising them with all the possession. He runs often, but not this early in the game. Have I seen him run so much? Again, it's one of these high kicks, and Brett Stewart has put it down, and it's gone back to George Tafua.
Second one, no.
It's a knock-on against Manly. South will have another loose head and feed. 12 metres out.
Second one's forward, Jamie.
And that's the kick I was talking about, watching Adam Reynolds. That one, actually, it wasn't the spiral torpedo, but it was a difficult one for Brett Stewart to take. He hasn't played for a number of weeks, round 25. He came off early against Melbourne.
Here's the knock-on here, according to the... Well, it's come off the boot there of John Sutton. And it looked like it's gone into the chest of George Tafua.
It's very similar to the preliminary final last year. Manly came out of the blocks with a heap of mistakes, and the Melbourne Storm just carved them up.
There's a driving tackle on Dylan Walker, celebrating his 19th birthday. And he's got a bit of a push and shove with Jamie Lyon going on. Maybe Jamie saying happy birthday. How was that? Didn't put any candles out, though. Now John Sutton goes in for David Tyrrell. Tyrrell to play the ball 8 metres away from the Manly line. And there Sutton runs a decoy. Burgess takes it to within 4 metres of the line. So Luke goes away to Sutton. Back now for Reynolds. Another decoy. Here is Ben Teo looking to unload. Can't get rid of it. And 5 gone for South. Inglis a dummy half. Rifles it across to Reynolds, who takes on the line. Puts in a kick, gets the ball back. It's 6 more for South Sydney. South Sydney have knocked on.
Knock on.
Comes back up into Reynolds' arm.
Okay, we've got a scrum because there's 6 to go.
Well, despite all their big match experience here, Manly, and they've been down this road so many times in the last 7 or 8 years, despite all their big match experience, this will seem like a whirlwind start. They just can't get their heads into the game. South Sydney all over them.
Okay, David, bind him in with your arms. Thank you. Just stay there, mate. Hold it.
So this is a Manly loose head and feed. They bring it away 15 metres out from their own line through to Tafua. I remember back in round 7 in that match won by the Rabbitohs 20-12. The Rabbitohs at half-time, it was 2-0, but they went to 20-0 soon after half-time. Lawrence with the ball now. So you people on the peninsula, you people wherever you are that follow Manly, 14-0 might seem like you're in Bleak City, but let me tell you, when this pendulum levels out, they've got the ability to bounce back and bounce back with venom. Now Foran, I don't think we've had the chance to call him in an attacking situation. Jamie Lyon, the ball will...
He knocked on Lyon.
He's really knocked on.
Change over, boys.
Right here.
And he must have knocked on because Jamie is retired without any argument.
Hold here.
Clark, Burgess is about to come on in 17. George.
It's a perfect start for South Sydney. You couldn't wish for a better start in a big game than this.
That's Walker. Holden statistics and information board rolling through. And knocked on by Burgess. Luke. Goodwin trying to get a ball away from just outside his own 30-metre line. Well, they certainly haven't gone back into their shell. Just watering down the heat there, Jeff Tuvey.
Yeah, it's a poor pass from Bryson Goodwin. It's not needed. Luke Burgess isn't going far. Dave Tyrrell, the first interchange man.
Okay, Ben, let's go.
They point out George Burgess in 17 out there now.
Okay. Okay, let's go, Jeff. Put in, mate, put in.
Let's go down. Well, we won't just yet because Jamie Lyon has come down the right side where they're so dangerous. And Ballin goes into dummy half, and now it's away for Brenton Lawrence, and Lawrence will play the ball 13 metres out from South Sydney's line. Back for Ballin. Cherry Evans comes over, gives it on, Foran goes out, and then a catch and pass by Brett Stewart has come down to George Tafua. He got away from Walker, but now he's upended and put down. 20 metres away from the South Sydney line. This is Ballin. And now Watmough. Ballin goes to Cherry Evans this time. Glenn Stewart puts a kick in and Brett Stewart will score. Brett Stewart. Brett Stewart has scored.
I'm going to check, mate.
Off his brother's kick.
Foggy. We're on fourth tackle. Got try. Review grounding, thank you.
Yeah, it's brilliant stuff. It's a left-footed kick, I think you'll find, from Glenn Stewart. And he's right up in the defensive line. And by kicking there, it makes it awfully hard for the defence to turn and chase. With the Manly players coming through with momentum, Brett Stewart gets in between John Sutton and Bryson Goodwin. And we're just going to have a look at the better view of grounding, which is good.
That's an incredible play. Absolutely incredible play. Brother to brother. I'm not sure if it's a set play, but both of them knew exactly what they were doing.
There's the green light. Well, as I said, when he plays, they most often win, and when he does play, he more than often scores a try. Brett Stewart's done that. When his brother and he play in the same game, they win 75% of matches. But unlike Brett, Glenn hasn't seen the try line from the best side of the try line all year long. It's 8 years since he failed to score a try in the season. Here's the kick from Jamie Lyon. He's also chasing down a record. I'll tell you about that later. It's a converted try to Manly. Brad Fittler sideline.
The most important thing that experience teaches you is when you get behind, not to panic.
With 60 minutes to go, Manly have to build the game. Don't chase points. Make sure there's no errors, no silly offloads in their own half. Well, they've done in the first 20 minutes.
Started to sound like Confucius there for a moment. Watmough thought I was in a Chinese restaurant. Brent Kites playing the ball inside his 20-metre line, so 14-6 the score. 14-6 in favour of South Sydney. More than a quarter of the game gone. The first preliminary final, the second tomorrow night. Telecast time 7 o'clock in New South Wales. Ballin. Just in the south area. Watmough is the dummy half. Cherry Evans stabbing kick. Inglis.
That's a very good set after points from Manly as well. Getting Greg Inglis down in the corner. They've travelled the length of the field. And huge for them to score the first time they get to the opposition 20 against the run of play.
Merritt, the 15 for South Ray Asatasi. Headed for England after South complete their obligations this year. Bentio on the 30-metre line. Play back for Isaac Luke to go to Ray Asatasi. Asatasi, who won a grand final in 2004 with Jonathan Thurston and the Canterbury Bulldogs. His kick rolling down favourably for Williams. He breaks through the front line. He's got it almost out to the 30-metre line, David. Now George Tafua. Asatasi, Luke, and Farrell breaking the tackle. Here's Matai. And Lima was there with George Burgess.
They're warming to their task now on the back of possession, the Eagles.
Now Fayoso to the 40-metre line. George Burgess making a double. Here is Foran. And Foran's inside the 30 and taking it to the 20. So 5 tackles gone. They've come about 75 metres. And Jerry Evans puts a kick in. It's come down, and Merritt might have put his foot on the dead ball line. And he's been taken into touch in goal anyway. So it's a line dropout for South Sydney.
Well, well, well. Hasn't a change come over this game? And all of a sudden, South Sydney is sitting back on their heels. It's Manly coming after them. Fair challenge by Jamie Lyon on Goodwin. The ball goes back into the in-goal. Nathan Merritt has to clean up. But as possession has started to swing back to Manly, we've started to see some cracks in this South Sydney defensive line.
Greg Inglis waving his arms about and shrieking advice out to his teammates in the in-goal. Brendan Lawrence brings the line drop out back. 28 metres out from South Sydney's line now. Manly down by 8. Fayoso again, who was very much in the spotlight in that match I referred to earlier. Here is Foran, double pumps it. And is taken 3 metres out from the line. There's the uprights. You can see they're so close to the line. There's Ballin for Fayoso again. He knocks on.
I have pointed out a number of times that Richie Fayoso, for all his toughness and willingness and courage, there's a little bit of this in his game. He can come up with a drop ball at a very inopportune time. It's a tough one. He's got to take it on the advantage line, and see how he leads with his head. He ducks his head into the collision, and it's quite often he comes out of it stung with head knocks, and he does come up with a fumble as well. He's down now.
Yeah,
he leads with his head.
He's looking to go into consecutive grand finals. He was part of the Melbourne premiership winning side last season, coming off the bench for them.
So South Sydney will come up with possession when play restarts.
I think he's just got a little bit of a burning sensation down his back and arm. He probably pinched a little bit of a nerve there. He really led with his head there into the collision. The ball came loose. A let off for South Sydney.
Sunday night at 6:30. A special event telecast, the special final of the Australia's Got Talent series. That's Sunday 6:30 across the Nine Network. And bringing it away is Sam Burgess, just inside the 20-metre line. Lima. Because he was in the spotlight with the crocodile roll in their other match this year. That's George Burgess. Milking is called on Watmough. And Isaac Luke again tries to straighten the ship up a little bit. It was listing just a fraction. Now Reynolds toes it down. Will it stop? Yes, it does. He's able to put that check on it. Tafua taken by Reynolds. And Brett Stewart goes away to Steve Maddie, and Maddie coming over the top was Ben Teo. Gets up limping. Tafua. There's the 20-metre line. And they're over here on the western touchline. The side of the ground where we telecast from. Bureau. Ballin finding Watmough, and fortuitously it's come down to Foran. He sprints down to the backfield. Inglis has herded him away. Inglis goes after him and pulls him up on the 30-metre line. And that was a piece of good fortune for Manly. Jerry Evans on the back of that knows that Inglis was up, but Inglis got back in time to cover.
Well, that's 2 great defensive plays by Greg Inglis in the space of 10 seconds. The way he herded up here and Foran, made the tackle, and then got himself back to field the grubber kick on the next play. That's brilliant stuff from the fullback.
Burgess, George. Dylan Walker, the birthday boy. given the start of the game, he might be forgiven for thinking all his birthdays had come at once. But now it is wartime. Manly are starting to throw some grenades back at them, and here's Williams.
I know that break from Foran was fortuitous, but it was also wonderful instinct from the Manly 5'8". He saw the pass coming, he accelerated into the hole and turned nothing into something. As Lyon takes it forward.
Sutton and Luke over the top of a low tackle from Sam Burgess. Now they don't touch it, so it's okay. And Matai is with the ball. He's attracted the defence of George Burgess and Roy Asatasi. And away goes Buren now, crossing into South Sydney's area. Ballin, so both the dummy halves operating at the moment, and this ball has gone over the sideline, about 10 metres out from the south line.
A little bit of a breather for everyone. The 26 players out there not so unhappy that ball trickled into touch. They can have a little bit of a walk around now, suck in a bit of air, bit of a chat. South Sydney to work play out of their own end. There's the 14, Faoso, heading up the tunnel. I said that he went with his head into a tackle there and got a little bit of a stinger down the arm, so he's going to go off and get a bit of treatment. But it's levelled up in the momentum stakes, hasn't it? It's 8 points of difference on the scoreline, but not much difference in the play now. Oh dear.
Souths inviting Manly to have a crack at their line.
Isaac Luke standing at the back of the scrum and has a little bobble as he goes to pick it up and unload. That's the hooker packing in at lock, fed by the 5'8", playing halfback.
And the second time that they've made a blue, he showed inside forward pass earlier.
So here is Manly with wonderful opportunity, and Matai is taken down. Covering tackle from Teo, Lyon, Foran, Horro. Foran goes back for Terry Evans. He puts it inside for Glenn Stewart. It's a couple of metres away from the line. Ballin to Foran, Foran to Horro. Horro hangs on, loses the ball. And Souths go away with it. Referee will order a knock-on against Manly.
Don't run him. George, don't march him out of here with a silly penalty. Knock on.
So Souths can breathe a bit easier now.
And they defended it well, South Sydney. They got up quickly on the outside, forced Justin Horro to take the ball himself. Then coming across defensively, forced the mistake.
Brad Fittler sideline with a pain-away injury update.
Yeah, Rich Faoso, I think no surprise, is his left shoulder and neck. There's a problem. Yet to get confirmation, so if he's back, he should play.
South End rucking it away from inside their own 20. Bryson Goodwin. Now for Clark. 14-6 after 31 minutes. That's Farrell heading for St George Illawarra next year. Asatasi. And we're down to the halfway line for Sutton to keep it low with the kick, and kicking between the two men at the back. And Tafua doesn't muck around. It comes out to be taken by Walker and Farrell. The two Dillons are in there.
Well, the last two kicks from South Sydney have been wonderful. First one from Reynolds into the in-goal area. That one from John Sutton. Not easy to get the ball into the in-goal area from 40 metres out. But they've done so on both occasions.
Matai looking at the referee as if to say, what about a penalty? But it wasn't forthcoming, and Horro is tackled on the next play. And here's a penalty.
Turn him round, Ben. Turn him round.
He's turning him around and coming around using the man that he tackled. So 14-6 and 8 minutes to go first half.
Very low penalty count here tonight. Only 3 penalties so far. We've had 33 minutes left to play. Jeff knew that was a penalty.
Another inquiry.
Here it is.
Investigation, I think he calls it.
Wait for it.
That's their first penalty of the night. They've had 13 uses, I think I just saw, for 8 completions. But most of that damage was done in the opening minutes of this game with this ambush by South Sydney. And some nervous play by Manly. Rose. Melbourne next year. Cherry Evans and then Brett Stewart. Now Jamie Lyon. He goes down the right side. He went around Nathan Merritt. And now it's from Williams and come to Cherry Evans. Glenn Stewart has gone over his shoulder. Watmough tries to pick up the rolling ball. He goes to ground. Slowly up, and he's not happy with that leg. And here is Bira. He's hunched over. I think he's calling for trainer. And here's Foran to Brett Stewart. He puts a little kick on it. Oh, Dylan Farrell. He's gone after it and recovered, and only just recovered in time. But it's a knock-on against South.
Well, poor old Dylan Farrell here under pressure. Nearly made an absolute meal of this. Nearly handed it back to Manly. Lovely work by Brett Stewart. Little kick in behind. Farrell, the ball bounces awkwardly off the knee, up, and now goes to pick it up and bobbles it again and again. Gee whiz.
Let's go. Dylan. Just stay there for a second, mate. Hold here. Hold here, John. Oh, no, wait. Put it in now.
So Manly with a chance to strike. They go away to who other than Jamie Lyon. He got a pass out to David Williams. Williams to play the ball on the 20-metre line. Here it is coming back for Glenn Stewart, who, as I pointed out, is trialist this year. First time in a long time that he hasn't scored a try. George Rose goes for the line, but he's short.
That's 3. Roll away now, JC. Hold. Go. 3.
Foran, Manly attacking. Stewart, Matai. And he's again tackled close to the line. Brilliant tackling by South.
Hold. Go. 4.
Here is Brett Stewart. He tries to go over. He puts the ball between the legs. Knocked on by South. It's 6 more tackles. And here's Morrow. Manly with a great chance now. Ballin. South. It's almost indefensible. Back-to-back sets. At this level anyway. Foran getting it on. Watmough is with the ball. 2 metres from the line. Here is Foran. Now Cherry Evans. Now Brett Stewart. And he is again centimetres from the line. So they sweep it around the back for Jamie Lyon. And again, South Sydney's online defence. Absolutely brilliant. John Sutton that time. Now to Foran. Out it comes to Brett Stewart. Brett Stewart gives it on. Steve Mattai's got the ball. And he's pulled out. He lets the ball go. George Tafua. And he again is just half a metre from the line. Last tackle there. This will be miraculous if South can survive this onslaught. Up they go, down they come, they've got the ball. John Sutton is with it.
It's unbelievable. That, from the moment George Rose looked like going in under the posts, they looked like scoring on just about every play after that. Now they get a penalty. Unbelievable.
Well, that's a heartbreaker if you're Manly, but they're not broken-hearted. The South fans up in the borough, they know they saw something special then.
Well, I reckon Greg Inglis has made about 3 try-saving tackles in this set of 6. There was one on George Rose. There was another one over here on the left, and Inglis will come from behind and get in behind them. When Glenn Stewart looked like going over on the right-hand side, again, it was Inglis who was in there. So whilst the front line were doing their work, great support from the fullback at the back. And that sort of defence will give South Sydney unbelievable confidence. A real boost.
3 minutes then from the break. Clark.
Next try in this game is so crucial that you can feel it on a knife edge, can't you?
Penalty goes against Manly. With a hand on the ball, I fancy.
Well, here's a real chance for South Sydney. They started the first half on absolute fire, ran out to a 14-0 lead. They've been under pressure. If anything, their defence at the moment looks better now than it did 20 minutes ago. They seem to have grown in confidence. Inglis talking to his halfback, settling them down. I think he realises now that if they could post a try right here, it could send them a long way towards their victory and their first grand final in over 4 decades. Big moment coming up here.
So they'll pull out one of their well-rehearsed and pet plays here. We've got time for a full set. More than enough time. One play sees it go back to the blind side off the free kick. And it's Isaac Luke who plays the ball. Sam Burgess runs it up towards the 10-metre line. Now where's Inglis? He's out very deep on the right. Here it is with Sutton. He drifts across and throws a dummy. 5 metres out from the line. Isaac Luke goes in, and Isaac Luke thought he had a chance himself there. So the 4th tackle is gone, and there's a knock-on. George Burgess comes out of scoring what he thought was a try with a big smile on his face. But there's been a knock-on at the play the ball. And Manly rejoice.
Stay there, boys. Form up now, South.
Yeah, there's no doubt the Manly players stopped. They saw the knock-on and heard the whistle. Here it is here. There's a knock-on in the play the ball there. They hear the whistle and minute to go.
And Manly lock it up in the scrum. Try to get a penalty to give them probably another 30 or 40 metres. Play by Matai now. Tafua is upended just short of the 30-metre line. 14-6 with 45 seconds of the half remaining. Burer, middle of the ground, surrender tackle is called. So what do? They stay on him and look at the referee, which to me only enforces the thoughts that there's no need for all of these calls in the play the ball. The players should know the rule. Here is Foran. All it does is put more work on the referees. Here's Foran on the halfway line now. Cherry Evans kicks high down towards Greg Inglis. And Inglis back on his own 20. Is taken by 4 of the Manly side. They pile him into the ground, and that should be it. The hooter sounds out across ANZ Stadium. So South Sydney will take a 14-6 lead to the break. 14-6 Souths at half-time. Here's Cherry Evans starting the second half of the first preliminary final. One of these teams is 40 minutes away, barring Golden Point, from a berth in the 2013 Telstra Premiership to do battle for the Summons Proven Trophy, which was assigned over officially by Telstra to the NRL to be known from this day on as the Proven Summons Trophy. Just over a week ago. Now, Sam Burgess up towards halfway, South, Tyrrell. Sloppy play the ball by Tyrrell. He could have even given a penalty, not facing direct. The kick is zeroed straight down to Williams. Oh, gee, that's heavy stuff by South. Sam Burgess rattled one off with Bryson Goodwin. Now Jamie Lyon, just outside the 30-metre line. Williams and Tafua, 38 tries between them. Only 6 winger pairings in the history of league have scored more than that. Here's Rose.
being shared evenly, 19 apiece.
Ballin knows they only had one real marker, and he was very lucky not to get pinged there, George Burgess. Manly on the way to a very good start. Then Teo has to surrender. Smart play by Teo. He threw ego out the back and brought the wisdom into the game. Farrell. A little bout of nerves in that first half for a brief moment. Down on the 20-metre line, played by Greg Inglis. George Burgess runs it out.
Yeah, Bryson Goodwin just picked up a bit of a hand injury and just had that strapped in back play.
Here's Sam, slamming Sam on the 40-metre line, through to Sutton. Reynolds sizes up his kick, and it's gone through middle stump. And David Williams is back on his try line. Goodwin patched up now with Merritt shutting down the left side defence of South. Tafua just inside the 20-metre line. Rose, and he rolls that big frame of his into a couple of South Sydney defenders. Here's Foran sprinting down the blind side and eventually pulled down right on halfway. A lot of freedom out there for Foran though. Horro, Bura, Ballin, Cherry Evans, and a swerve, and then Lyon. Quick pass in for Williams, through one. Oh gee, he's an athlete, isn't he? Sam Burgess pulling off that tackle. Here's Cherry Evans putting a kick on it. Oh, and Greg Inglis, he had to bat it dead. Horro was flying through.
That's lovely play from Cherry Evans, right back to the play previously where he danced across field and created a little bit of a space there for Jamie Lyon. Jamie Lyon linked up with Williams back on the inside. What's this? Skips aside. Then he's able to get it to Lyon. He's able to draw a couple of defenders and get it to Williams. He's nearly away back through the middle. And on the next play, the kick off the outside of the foot forces the line dropout, and another opportunity for the Seagulls.
Quick comment, Andrew John, sideline.
Yeah, Manly, less passing was talked about at half-time. More footwork, dummy and go, taking on the big guys.
Were you in the sheds?
For a brief while.
Brett Stewart. Anthony Watmough. Brett Stewart scooping it up for brother. Turns it in for Horro. Picked up by Clark. 25 away from the South Sydney line. Glenn Stewart. Glenn Stewart deciding to go. So he's 15 out. George Burgess the main tackler. Here is Watmough. And now Cherry Evans. And he's able to get it out the back. Brett Stewart was there. He turns it in for Jamie Lyon. The captain is 3 metres away from the line. Not even that. There's that Luke lying in the back of the play the ball, and here it is to Ballin. Brilliant. Ballin has scored, and Brett Stewart, a brilliant piece of play by him.
Well, real sleight of hand here from Brett Stewart. He had most of his teammates lied out deep to the left. It was a slow play the ball. Brett Stewart, who we know will have a little dab from dummy half, he tried it in the first half, but very nonchalantly, he notices that Goodwin is very close to him in the left centre, just draws and passes, and Ballin sneaks in for the first try of the second half.
He seems to make a habit of getting a try in a big game. Does Matt Ballin, whose run of consecutive games is up to 158 tonight. Can you believe that? Possibly the toughest of all body contact sports anywhere around the planet. And this bloke is playing his 158th consecutive game, Matt Ballin, in the maroon headgear. Matt Ballin picking up another try, copped a little bit of a knock there, and they're putting some Vaseline over the top of that eye cut. Makes a habit of scoring tries in big games. I think he got a try in a grand final a couple of years ago. Now Jamie, and he should get this, and it's on its way. It looks good. So we have really got a ball game. We came to watch a ball game, and we're getting it, Andrew.
The 7 minutes from half-time, Rabs have really found their rhythm. Look at that guy. He's loving his rugby league. How good a side is that to see a halfback grinning and enjoying his footy? And it's up to him to take control. His kicking game, he's got to make sure every time South Sydney get the ball back, it's close to their own try line.
Well, if you watch Manly come out for the second half, Daly Cherry Evans was joking with teammates walking up the tunnel. He thought he was going for a stroll in the park.
That's Generation Y, I think. Watmough on the 30-metre line, and look at this marker. This marker defence for South a couple of times has been non-existent. Absolutely in tatters. Early in the second half, when you would have thought there was a bit of petrol in the tank. George Rose.
And a couple of times it's been because George Rose can get a quick play the ball going for a big man.
Evans, or Cherry Evans, high, and Greg lets it bounce. And it's come down, and the referee is going to turn over the possession.
Wait there, bring it up.
Gee whiz, it must have been close to being touched there by a South Sydney player. There was someone that threw his leg out at it. A little bit of a let-off for South Sydney, who are now got themselves in a little bit of a hole.
Tyrrell. South Sydney.
He's lost it.
No. It's a penalty. Hand on the ball.
Hand in, Jamie.
One of the greats of rugby league died this week, Ron Crowe, who played with South Sydney. He represented Australia and played a season at South in '62. But his legend was around the bush down at West Wyalong, down in my part of the world. He played in the very first game of rugby league I ever broadcast. He was a wonderful man, Ron Dookie Crowe. There were few tougher, let me tell you, and none more admirable. To his family, our condolences to all of the people down in Group 9, West Wyalong. My deepest sympathies. Here is Greg Inglis now with the ball.
He was my Riverina under-18s coach, Ray, a great man. Played for Australia from West Wyalong and actually represented South Sydney in 1962 and commuted from West Wyalong to play that season. 80 years of age, wonderful man, has left us.
Here's Isaac Luke to the 20-metre line. This is the last tackle coming up for the red and greens. They're getting themselves into a bit of froth and bubble here. Now it's back to Sutton. Sutton puts a stabbing kick in. It's going to have to be played at. And Brett Stewart's trying to get back for his tackle. And it's a line dropper.
Yeah, the maturity here of John Sutton, who has really developed his game over the last couple of seasons under Michael Maguire. Just the calmness here, not to panic. We'll try something too outlandish. When the ball comes back to him, he just thinks, well, you know what? Let's just put it in there and see if we can't get a line drop out and come back again. There was a time when John Sutton might have tried something outlandish at that point.
Let's go, Daly! Just on your run here, Daly.
Just on Ron Crowe, who played in that first game I talked about for West Wyalong against Barmedman back in 1966. And to ground here is Tyrrell. They bred them tough, granite-like down there. George Burgess, 30 metres away from Manly's line. And Isaac Luke goes blindside. Reynolds says no, we'll come back open to a set play. And the set piece is Greg Inglis kicking. Knocked down by Nathan Merritt, picked up by Bryson Goodwin. And that's the third tackle, and they're 11 metres out from the line. McQueen is on, Inglis on, Sutton in, and it's with Clark. And he's deceptive, this fellow Jason Clark. Now Luke, Sutton, back wide. Here's Inglis joining in out the back, but they're right on top of him. And three of them put him to ground. This should be the last, it is. And Reynolds puts a kick up, and Jamie Lyon flies, and it's come down to David Williams.
That particular kick there is for Chris McQueen.
Now they've lost the ball, and Souths have got the ball 2 metres out from the line. So can Manly hold this? Battle stations, red alert. George Burgess plays the ball, and there goes Sam. Is it close to the uprights? No, it's not him. In fact, it's Tyrrell. playing the ball, and Isaac goes from dummy half. Sutton, away to Sam this time, and Sam Burgess over the line. Is he held up?
I have George Burgess as an obstruction on that eye.
Clarkey, fifth and last, we have no try. Just check for obstruction through to grounding, please.
Well, they kept it very tight. All the plays trying to get over from dummy half or from the one pass from dummy half, and Sam Burgess...
But not all the time. No, enough's enough.
He's not confident. The fact his brother has got in the way of Steve Maddai here. Maddai comes in and gets bumped out of the way by George Burgess to... is it enough of a degree?
Yeah, I'm not sure that Sam has grounded it anyway. He didn't seem too confident at all. There it is up in the air, and then he drops it. He's dropped it. George Burgess was going through wanting the ball. He collided with Maddai. Maddai ended up getting a piece of Sam Burgess, but when Sam got up, you could tell he hadn't grounded the ball. He dropped it. So we'll either got a 20-metre tap or we've got a penalty to Manly. I'd take the 20-metre tap if I was the Sea Eagles. That's the better result at this point.
Yeah, just watching the mouthing off from Sam Burgess, I thought for a moment he was aiming that in the direction of George, but no, he knew he dropped it anyway.
Okay, knock on. This way there. They're going to swap here, Terry.
Knock on by the attacking side in goal.
Use of foot.
20-metre restart for Manly. And Buera will play the ball, taken back to the 20-metre line, actually.
This game is on in earnest now, Rabbits. They are absolutely looking to give it to each other now. This is going to get really physical.
Lawrence plays that ball, and here's Brett Stewart behind Lyon to Cherry Evans. They've taken him across the sideline. There was movement at all times. So that's a bad play by Cherry Evans.
Well, it's sheer strength by John Sutton. This was a play that Manly used against South Sydney last time, and they were waiting for Cherry Evans. They backed off a little bit. Then once they got hold of the halfback, they kept him off the ground and drilled him towards the sideline. Goodwin gets a piece on him, but it's Sutton that picks him up, I think, from behind here. Picks him up, won't let him get down, drags him, and between the two of them, they bundle him into touch. That's great defence. What do you think, Jeffrey? Penalty? Come on. No, that was fair game. No penalty there.
Bring him in, bind him in for us, thanks, Brett. Greg, just bind him in for us, please.
Newcastle and the Roosters tomorrow night from Allianz, and 7 o'clock the telecast in New South Wales. Play by Tyrrell. Luke to Reynolds to Sam Burgess. He's down to the 40-metre line. Barking encouragement to his troops, Sam Burgess. That's his brother Luke. 32 metres out. Sutton, inside ball for Clark. And they pick Clark up and dump him back a couple of metres up the ground. Now Tyrrell winds it up and takes it inside the 30-metre line, but that takes us to tackle 5. Sutton, he kicks. Inglis is after it, so is Merritt. There's the back down into the middle of the ground, favouring Manly, and it's with Ballin.
Yeah, they're failing to take advantage of good field position and a good amount of possession at this end of the field in the last 5 minutes. They're a bit pedestrian with the football and not that adventurous.
Watmough off, Kite on.
And of course, as we get to the back end of this game, with both teams starting to settle into fatigue and tiredness, and the score is close, Manly have been through this the last 2 weeks. South Sydney, not so experienced at this time of year in these types of games.
Kite. Yeah, although the back end of Manly a couple of times, Gus, has looked a bit fragile. As Foran kicks down the ground and Greg will watch it go.
Yeah, but it's funny, when you get used to playing in close games and playing under fatigue, it just becomes a little bit of a habit to you. And South Sydney have got to learn that. They've got to learn it tonight if they want to play in the grand final.
I've been listening to everybody all week long telling us that Manly is busted, they're bruised and they're tired. I saw them play 6 games in 24 days back in 1978. I know it's a different era, but they just seem to love it. I think I heard Sterlo say tonight on radio on Triple M, he said, you've got to get mentally tired before you get physically tired. Burgess, 14-12. Thought the men would come in busted and ready to be the sacrificial lamb, but they're not. This is the last tackle, and Reynolds goes super high. And Farrell went high, but he had an air swing himself.
Yep, scrum.
Well, on both sides of the field now, Manly have taken the tactic of letting the bomb hit the ground and making South Sydney play at it. And that's because the South Sydney kicks have been misdirected. It's no good putting bombs up. They're going to come down a yard in from touch, 20 metres out from the try line. The opposition can just let you have that.
Yep.
And that's what Manly have done to them.
Right, form up, boys.
Just reflecting back on that try, Ray, that Brett Stewart set up. It's just an indication again of how far fullbacks have come in understanding ball play. Look at Billy Slater, all the top fullbacks in the game. They pass as well as many of the halfbacks. That was brilliant, the way that he set up that try.
Little things like that make him very much the type of player the team can't win without. Inglis with South, Smith, Slater, and Cronk with Melbourne. You can just go on and on. Just so important. Here's Matai giving it on the inside for Tufua. Look at that leg drive. I know he had plenty of speed up, but he's gone another 20 metres since they first laid a hand on him.
He is so strong. He is so strong.
Manly get a penalty over in front of the Eastern Stand, a shot of their crowd.
I don't think you can handicap him enough, Rabbits. You couldn't give him enough weight to slow him down.
Hold! Hold!
It's just their second penalty of the night. Tom Simon's first touch.
There's Brent Kite in the middle of the ground, crossing the 20-metre line.
Jason here, Jason! One step, hold!
Stewart, across his brother, it's gone out to Terry Evans, gone on to Jamie Lyon, he's over! The captain goes over! Jamie Lyon has scored! It is 14-12 at the moment.
Have try, review grounding.
But he's got a try.
That's that dangerous right-hand side attack from Manly. Getting outside of players. And once you start sliding against them close to your own line, you're in all sorts of trouble. And you can see the defence going sideways with Lyon getting on the outside of Goodwin. Merritt staying with Williams, who's screaming for the football, and the point of the football touches the ground there. Manly in front.
Try. What a competitor. What a player. Jamie Lyon. Look at the Manly crowd. He's 2 points away from the 1,000 now. If he kicks this, it'll be 1,000. And he'll become only the 4th player to reach that mark for Manly and joins 3 illustrious Sea Eagles. Edie, Batty and Ridge.
The Sea Eagles now leading 16-14 Manly. With to come.
He is the complete package. Jamie Lyon, he captains his side. He leads by example. He would never ask you to do something he couldn't do himself. The kid from Wee War. And this kick takes him into glorified space. This will take him to 1,000 for Manly. He'll join Graham Edie, Bob Batty and Matthew Ridge as the only Eagles who've got the 1,000. And he's got it. Another history-making kick here tonight. Andrew John sideline.
Yeah, sleight of hand once again from the Stewart brothers. Keep your eye on Brett Stewart. He's the decoy runner here. Where he comes out the back, all eyes are on him. John Sutton holds up for Brett Stewart there, and that gets Cherry Evans on the outside. Once again, the Stewart brothers standing up under pressure.
South, for the first time in the game, behind. Phil?
Well, it's a real mental battle now for South Sydney. I reckon if you said to South Sydney before the game, OK, we trail by 4 points with 21 minutes to go, do you believe you can win? And to a man, they all would have said yes. But they've got to this situation by leading 14-0, and now Manly have come over the top of them. Can they still think straight? Can they still keep themselves in the contest against a team that is so used to performing at this end of the year? Big mental battle for them.
Stewart to Stewart. And Glenn right on the halfway line. What a contest. 3/4 of the game gone. For him. Kicking down to Farrell. No pressure. There is now. He's got a couple of hombres on him.
I spoke about how crazy the under-20s game was tonight. Well, this was 14-0 in favour of South. Then 18 straight points from Manly to put themselves in front.
Play by Sam Burgess. John Sutton taking on the role of a forward. Why wouldn't he? He's as big as any of them. That's Luke Burgess. South driving it up the middle. Reynolds. Could be quite a few twists and turns in this game yet. To Fua. Not necessarily a good bloke to kick to. He's just so adamant when he runs. Brad Fittler sideline, or Bradley.
Yeah, well, here's a twist. An ambulance is on its way to pick up Richie Farrow, so to take him to hospital for precautionary scans. Thanks to Painaway.
Thank you, Bradley. Brent Kite.
Well, they look like they're running downhill now, Manly.
Well, they have since half-time, Gus. For fear of labouring the point, some of the marker defence from South was abysmal in the first 5 minutes of the second half. Here's Cherry Evans. Cherry Evans. He throws the dummy. He gets the pass away. David Williams. Did David Williams get it down? I think he did. I think he did. If he did, it's a freakish try.
He couldn't possibly. No way.
I've got doubts.
Tackle 5. Have a try.
Wow.
Just
Ben Cummins disagrees with you both.
Through to grounding the touchline, please.
Well, this is freakish. If he's able to spin, catch this ball above his head with the left hand, take the tackle, spin, and still get it down inside the corner post, well, this is freakish.
Now take the corner post out of play. They're having a look at obstructions. Again, it's a setup like we saw for the previous try with a decoy out the back. It's Brenton Lawrence going into Chris McQueen. And Cherry Evans, no, he goes on the outside. He's too far away for that to be a problem in my book. So it's David Williams having to reach behind. Now, he gets close to the line. I think his rump is on the sideline, isn't it, before he gets the ball down?
He's got to be out. He has to be out.
Don't be too sure.
Oh, you're right. That's
What about that?
That's why you're the best.
I'm telling you, this bloke is a freak.
Look at this. Look at this.
This is almost David Norfoluma.
He's parallel to the ground.
God, what next are they going to do, Peter?
Well, the best thing they ever did was take the corner putt out of contention.
This is just one of the most amazing tries I think I've ever seen. And I keep using the words I think, but I'm sure he scored.
He has.
Wow.
He has.
And to Ben Cummins' record, I think Ben was almost prepared to go it alone. David Williams, the Wolfman, I think he's got what might be the decisive try. He has got a try, but it might not be decisive.
That is incredible. South Sydney could not have got off to a better start in this game. Leading 14-0, towering away. And Manly, the toughness, the courage, the experience, have ground their way back into the contest, and now their brilliant right-hand side attacking game has produced 4 critical tries to find themselves in front, and a major change.
And it's not as though Jamie Lyon doesn't know this kick as well, and so important in these big games that you're turning 4 into 6 points, and he's doing that.
He's also doing it off the worst percentage of success in the competition as it stands now, and tonight he has got it all back on a string. Jamie Lyon, 24-14. They trailed 14-0.
Yeah, he hasn't been kicking well, but isn't it just part of the class of the man to kick so brilliantly tonight when they need it most? This has been phenomenal from Manly, absolutely phenomenal.
The finals professionals. Oh, Lawrence, his head ricocheted back like a Shanghai with the hit from Lima and Clark. Now Glenn Stewart, 12 metres out. And Ballin is cut down in a low tackle by Clark. Buren, held by McQueen. Kite. So the margin is 10. 24-14. You'd have to think Souths have got to be the team that scores next.
No doubt about that, and understandably the energy is with Manly at the moment, but in South's favour is the fact that there is still 16 and a half minutes to go in this game.
Clark is coming on.
They've got to get the number 1 involved as much as possible. Inglis has got to make a mark on this game in the closing stages.
Burgess. Sutton. Shaping to get it back on the inside to Inglis. Shut down though by Buren and Lawrence. He's a mobile front rower, Lawrence, isn't he? Here's a kick from Reynolds down into the corner, and Brett Stewart got down and he cuddled the ball into him, making sure he was never going to knock on. Not down there, not now. Tafua. William. Got the spinnaker out, Williams. Why wouldn't he? What a try. Fancy keeping that one for now. Matai. Watmough. 7 o'clock tomorrow night. The telecast starts. Roosters versus Newcastle. The skinny coach from Newcastle comes to town with the veteran number 9 to see if they can bowl over the minor premiers.
Brett Stewart put that kick through there. I can't believe I asked his coach Jeff Tooby whether he was concerned about the lack of run he's done, Brett Stewart. He's been the best on the field tonight.
Sam Burgess stepping away from Steve Matai.
Tomorrow.
Luke.
So Ray, don't forget that game tomorrow night, 7 p.m. in New South Wales. Roosters v Knights, ball over the sideline, 7:30 Queensland.
Well, this is the first sign of desperation and catch-up football from South Sydney. Going with a play like this in their own half of the field, something they would reserve for the other end of the field, but the desperation is now starting to creep in, and a long pass from Inglis sails out over the sideline.
I might sacrifice a little bit of presence for vision.
Crowd is up around 45,000. I'll get you there. It is now, the official figure. 44,546. Lyon, blindside play from the scrum, and under 14 minutes to go. Williams.
There's still time for South, but they cannot concede another try to this Manly side now inside the 30.
Foreign behind two decoys, finding Brett Stewart. Play the ball on the fourth tackle inside the 20-metre line. And here is Jamie Buehler. 10 out for the kick. No, the hands. And here's Brett Stewart in from the back, and it's gone over the touchline. Maddai is saying it came off a South player, and it did.
Yeah.
British here, boys.
And the Manly players on the outside were anticipating a grubber kick into the in-goal here before it was passed out the back. Otherwise, they could have easily had them 3-on-2, 2-on-1 down that short right-hand side. Russell Crowe's box up there. They're a little pensive. Looks like Albo's sitting there with his scarf on.
Well, bum faces, and understandably 13 minutes out, and they look very likely here, Manly, in this next set.
Jamie Lyon across and drifting. Cut down eventually by Chris McQueen. Glenn Stewart looks at the try line longingly for reasons I told you about earlier. Now it's gone away to Foreign, then Maddai, catch pass, Tom Simons. And Simons is just a metre out from the line. Foreign, Buehler, middle of the ground, and South under heavy punishment from Manly now. Buehler's knee has caused a problem here.
Yeah, we had another tackle coming in low underneath here. I know there are a lot of them in the game these days, but Jamie Buehler, lower part of the leg here, came twisted. She's tackled, and in comes Burgess down below and starts to grab at the legs there. And there's got to be a way around that. There's got to be a way to take that out of the game. I know it's not illegal, but it's undesirable.
Jamie, just wait till I blow the whistle, mate. I'll call you time. Just push up there.
They've had a little bit of a chat here in the backfield, these Manly playmakers. They've had a little bit of a time to form a huddle and think of something special here to do.
Ballin to Foreign, a switch of direction, back to Cherry Evans, and then Jamie Lyon. He got rid of Sam Burgess, then he puts a kick in, and he's turned Dylan Farrell around. Dylan Walker it is, and he's going to be grasped in goal. That's excellent play, excellent understanding by the Manly players, and again including Jamie Lyon and Cherry Evans. Well,
it's not the play they were looking for. It fell apart, but the kick from Jamie Lyon wasn't great. The chase to make the tackle, especially from Cherry Evans and Watmough, that was superb.
The drop out going straight down to David Williams. Queen with Sutton. Brent Kite. It's looking like his second last game in these colours. 20 metres away from South line, Cherry Evans, and again Brett Stewart. All he can do is bat it on. He's become a magnet, really. His impression on the game is indelible, and the South's defence magnetised towards him.
But it shows the aggression of Manly. Manly's looking for another try. They figure that will be domino. That will close it out for them. They haven't gone into their shell because they've got a 10-point lead. They're looking for more points. The coach is upstairs there. He'll be sending out messages now. Just key words to keep them concentrating in defence. South Sydney have got to go 80 metres.
Jeff, out the back.
I know I made the point last week.
Out the back.
Against South Sydney, they wasted 20-25 seconds there getting players in to the scrum formation to get timeout called by the referee. Every second has to be so valuable. You've got to be urgent in giving yourself as much time as you can to win this game.
T.O. The year's most thrilling new drama is here. Drama for Jeff Lima. Australia's Tony Collette, fast-tracked from the USA. The new drama Hostages begins on Wednesday week on the 9 network.
Looks good, that one. That's got the president of the USA in. It's a beauty, that.
Hostages on Wednesday week it starts. Here is Sutton. Now Inglis. Got rid of Jamie Lyon momentarily before Lyon and Williams put him down. Class of his Manly back line tonight has been most evident. Kick from Reynolds, very, very high, and Brett Stewart goes up, plucks it out of the air above the arms that were extended from the red and greens.
There is no substitute at this stage of the season for experience, and with experience comes great belief, self-belief. And haven't Manly shown it in bucket loads here. Brett Stewart leaping up there to take that ball just epitomises how they back themselves.
Kite. 24-14, a 10-point ball game. And the men from the Peninsula are 8.5 minutes away from another grand final, their 20th grand final. Inglis, Merritt, Luke, Sutton goes short. Pass. He did try to pass, and it's down to Williams, but he's knocked on.
That's it there.
That's Jamie Buhrer heading up the tunnel there. Saw him stay down earlier with that leg problem. He did have the knee straps coming into the game.
Boys.
And it is now
Let's go, Manly.
1 hour since South Sydney scored their last points.
Let's go, Jamie.
You cannot believe the change that came over this game, can you? It was all going so easily for the Rabbitohs. They've had the perfect preparation. Manly have had to do it the tough way.
Here's Reynolds, he kicks, it's a charge down, no knock on, and Simons is away, and away to a grand final, you would think. Charge down, ball rising off the foot, no knock on, nullifies the tackle count, but he scores a try instead. Tom Simons.
You know, many years ago, I was asked by the Roosters to come in and have a bit of a session with the Roosters under-20s team. They were running last in the competition. And I went down to a few training sessions, and there was one kid in the team, a kid called Tom Simons, who by the end of the week I made 5'8" and captain. And I said to the head coach at the Roosters at the time, Brad Fittler, there's a kid down there that'll play first grade. He was playing in an under-20s team that were running last, local junior to the Roosters, Tom Simons. And he impressed me so much with his intelligence and his work ethic. And here he is scoring a try that will put his team into the grand final.
On the back of an all-or-nothing play from South Sydney, having to score twice in the remaining minutes. They went for the runaround to bring the defensive line up of the Manly team. They were going to kick wide for the winger, hoping to catch him out in that fashion. But Tom Simons got there too quickly and got the arms out. And Jamie Lyon looking to stay 100% tonight off the boot.
This is just an amazing evening, an amazing night. They've gone out to 30-14. They were down 14-0. Brad Fittler sideline.
Yeah, well, I was coaching, and if Tommy Simons was fit, he was playing. One of my favourite players. He has all the skills of a real footballer. He turns up as a bloke every day, and tonight he's turned up as a player once again.
Kick off, come down to South. It worked out the way they wanted it. They went for about 15 metres, got the ball back. George Burgess. Tom Simons, his career has been punctuated by injury. Here is Reynolds. Now Burgess. Sam playing it on the 10-metre line. But they're 16 behind now. Lima patched up. George Burgess, did he get the ball down? Ben Cummins, what do you think?
That's a third. I have a try. Check for grounding, please.
He thinks that he might have just got the ball down before losing it. A hobbling George Burgess coming back down the ground.
We'll just have a look. If there's a crater there, he's got it down, because he brings it down and scores. Well, that will be enough based on what we've seen.
Well, we saw it only last week, didn't we?
Yes. Coincidentally, in favour of the Manly side on that occasion.
Mind you, I tend to agree with the criticism last week. I thought we were led to believe that unless you've got some control, then they were going to declare those sort of things not as tries, but this will be given. I would think it's got to be given what we saw last weekend.
I also went back to the rule book just to have a look at the decision being made upstairs, and whilst we're saying conclusive evidence, it actually doesn't say conclusive. It's sufficient.
Yeah.
And sometimes one isn't the other, or necessarily the other.
Well, the bottom line is he's dropped it.
Well, he's lost control of it, that's for sure.
He's got nothing on it. Some of these South Sydney players might have a long walk back to the other end of the field. They're waiting for a kickoff.
No try, so they're starting their walk. Richie Fayoso, by the way, has been taken to hospital.
Because he's reviewed it and it's not a try. Simple as that.
In fact, these were the pictures.
Yeah, who do you think?
Richie
This way there.
being taken to hospital for precautionary x-rays and tests. I hope he's okay. I asked a question last week about Richard Fayoso, and were we treating his situation with enough care?
Makes you wonder how the George Tafua try was awarded last week, doesn't it? If 7 days later they've got a different interpretation like that.
Well, I've got nothing to add to that. So South Sydney still behind 30-14. Manly, meantime, ramming it down the ground. And again, a superb effort tonight by Cherry Evans, showing it, dazzling, stepping, weaving, and then unloading. Tafua comes back, and then he knocks on after Watmough gave it back to him too quickly for George's liking.
Time out, Jerry, time out.
So Jeff is still blowing up. 30 plays 14 with 5 to go.
Yeah.
That's 16, Jeff. 16.
I gather that's the life of a coach, isn't it?
Let's go.
They're home and hosed
Come on,
here, but
George.
he's not happy.
What a tough football team. What a tough football club.
Form up.
You know,
Heads in,
when they
Brett.
lost that
All
game
the
to
way
the Roosters in the first round of the finals, you just wondered whether they could come up the following week, and they didn't really. They didn't really come up physically, but they found a way to beat the Sharks. And then coming off the win, down 14-0 tonight, they just refused to give up. They just kept coming to the game.
Held 2.
He's tried to offload. He's tried to offload after help. Tackle 2.
The Rabbitohs have had no answer to this.
Reynolds, Sutton, Merritt, knocked on and offside. Penalty Manly.
It is scary to think of what type of players the 6 and the 7 for Manly are going to be in 3 or 4 seasons. I hope that they get to play their whole careers next to each other.
Let's go, mate.
A shot during all of that from a shot of a sad face of Michael Maguire. I made the point earlier that he lost his mum today.
With me, guys. Chris.
And that is the saddest moment probably for anybody, but this on top of it has made it a dark day for Mike Maguire. Lawrence, 15 out, and then Ballin for Watmough. Watmough jiggling. Ballin comes in, comes back to the middle. Big George is on again, and George has to slam it through the middle of the uprights, but they force him back. Met by another George. Glenn Stewart, then on the Terry Evans. Here'll be another try here for Jamie Lyon. Jamie Lyon has scored his second of the night.
4. I have a try. Just check for a possible knock on here, please.
Yeah, I think if Daly Cherry Evans had his time over, he'd just pass the ball. Instead of kicking it, if he could have delivered a ball to the outside, Lyon or Williams score. But it takes a bit of a rebound. Jamie has to stop and check. Again, this comes off a good play the ball from George Rose. Nathan Merritt racing up. If he passes instead of kicking, they score, but they may well have anyway if Jamie Lyon has not come up with a little knock on here in picking up. Came off the boot first, but I think it's okay.
I'm just wondering whether Cherry Evans drop-kicked it, whether it hit the ground first. It did. He's dropped it and then kicked it.
Yeah. He's supposed to kick the ball before it hits the ground. The ball can come off anything from the knee down.
He wasn't attempting a field goal then?
I don't think he was.
No, probably wasn't.
He was aiming sort of in that direction.
So no try.
Jerry, you got it?
Cherry Evans is taking the blame.
Well, he definitely should have passed.
You were right the first
Go,
time.
boys, heads in.
But have you seen, honestly, I love this kid. I've had the chance to interview him a couple of times. He comes over as confident, he's enjoying the game, and that's really one of the things we'd love all kids to do.
I wrote in the Herald during the week that we're about to enter the Daly Cherry Evans era.
Greg Inglis making a break. Phil is taken down. South then, 3 minutes of their season remaining. Inglis, George Burgess. Gone back to Manly as they play the razzle-dazzle catch-me-up football that you would expect from them. That's Brendan Lawrence.
This will be devastating for South Sydney fans, a number of whom have already left the ground here. There's thousands over them in there in the grandstand. It's fairly sparse at the moment.
David Williams out of dummy half now, throws the dummy. Wingers have been good tonight for Manly, got very involved. Tough night for those two men. Come here with great expectations tonight.
Well, they're not easy to win, Peter, are they, premierships? I mean, you only get so many chances in your lifetime. You've got to take advantage, and South Sydney have been to this game 2 years in a row now.
Just running the line in front of George Tafua coming on down the ground. Manly then are under 2 minutes away from their 19th appearance in a grand final. They'll play the winner of tomorrow night's second preliminary final, Roosters and Newcastle.
And it's been a 24-0 second half to the Manly side. 4 tries, 4 goals. Zippo to the Rabbitohs.
Line tight, George.
I'll now sit back and watch tomorrow night's game and hope that it is the most physical encounter of the season. It goes to Golden Point, but they play an extra 20 or 30 minutes. Maybe bumps and bruises. Inglis goes to the 30 and hurt in the tackle, but he's up.
Well, of course, if Newcastle are to win, here's Nathan Merritt. That would bring Manly and Newcastle together again for the first time in, what, 16 years?
I'll go to Joey on that one.
1997, when the game was divided. They played the grand final, Manly-Newcastle. Darren Albert on the back of Andrew Johns. And here is South to within 20 metres of the line, and Dylan Walker having a birthday. And at 14-0 down, he would have been thinking, how many candles on this cake? Knocked on by David Williams, restarts the tackle count. Bryson Goodwin. Meter from the corner post. 5 tries to 0. Here's Luke getting it away and still going for Sam. He got it away for Greg, and now it's gone on for the birthday boy to score, but there's no smile. Dylan Walker scores. Jeff Tuvey. Did I see a smile on his face?
Tackle one. Tie. Have a try. Just check for a possible knock-on back there, please.
So Manly, no matter what, as I just said, have entered their 19th grand final. Grand finals they've been to. The only club to have been to a grand final each decade for the last 7 decades. Was there a knock-on? I don't think so.
Let's just have a quick look at this. I don't think South Sydney are that concerned whether it's awarded or not. Because all that makes a difference too is the scoreline. Chris McQueen has hung on to that. He hasn't lost it into the Manly defender, so it is play on. Put the green light up, have a quick kick, and then let's celebrate Manly going into this year's grand final. And commiserate with a wonderful season for South Sydney, but just not finishing in the manner they were hoping for.
So the try has been given to young Walker, 19 years of age today. And that is a typical face of a South Sydney player, and I guess every South Sydney fan around Australia and the world.
They're declining the kick here, are they? The referee's just asking whether they want to take the conversion or not. In fact, Isaac Luke is going over to attempt this after the siren has sounded.
Just anywhere in line now.
Michael Maguire, I've already pointed out how disappointing this day has been. Never mind about the football. Isaac is going to take the kick. Well, 30 points to 18. It could be of great interest to a few of the punters out there. Keeping in mind is at 13.5. And there's the kick, and I think he's got it. He has. So the final scoreboard, Sea Eagles 30, Rabbitohs 20, 30 plays 20. Andrew Johns.
It was Manly coach Jeff Tuvey. How satisfying is that?
Yeah, look, it's really satisfying, particularly with such a poor start we had. We were in a bit of trouble there. South came out firing. We made a lot of mistakes, but our boys just continually bounced back.
What about the half-time speech? It must have been stirring. They lifted at half-time.
Yeah, they did, but we knew we had it in us. The players dug deep and they scored some great tries.
You've captained this club to premierships. What's it about Manly? Under pressure, under adversity, they always step up.
I don't know. They just love this sort of stuff. They love this environment. They love the crowd. They love the atmosphere.
Go and enjoy it.
Cheers.
Have you, Freddie?